it's on the table. Like, we could pray together, bro, and your whole life could change.
I don't believe in Christianity or Catholic or none of that.
I got a question. Why not just go straight Jesus?
I'm glad this platform exists to bring it to light.
So what's going on, man? We got another episode of Powerflow Convos. It's your boy Prime. I'm really excited about this guest today. And he like wears a lot of different hats. So I'm actually going to let him introduce himself the best way he wants to introduce himself. I know him as Pharoh. Go ahead, bro. Let the people know who you are.
Man, listen, Pharoh, I don't want to say my age, but listen, Pharoh, promoter, dreamer, what can I say? There's so many hats.
Artist,
on air, host. What can I say?
Man, he's
mic man.
All around music industry professional,
everything.
bro. Yeah. And you know, you get involved with images, so you really touch
graphic
everything.
Designer. Yeah, just there's so much stuff that I think I undermine myself on. Like, I don't even think I play those roles because it just became so much part of me.
Yeah.
That I think is just like one role, but not like it is 8, 10, 20 different hats that I wear. But I'm honored, man. I'm honored. I've just been so hungry since I woke up and saw a vision.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I'm hungry to get to the top. And no matter what it is, what role it needs to be, whether it be a big role, a small role, a middle role, I'm going to play. You know what I mean? That's just part of the game.
Yeah, so I already know, man. People are gonna already off top wonder, what are you? That annoying question, what are you? But off top, I already know my dog's Colombian. Talk about that a little bit, bro.
Man, it's really funny. When people meet me, like the first thing that comes to mind, they're like, "Yo, are you Dominican? Like, are you mixed? Like, what are you?" But man, I'm Colombian. Proud to be Colombian. Proud to be from Cali. That's my city. I was born and raised there. I was there till I was 7. Got the pleasure to come to America, and it's been amazing to represent, you know, the dark skins out there. There's not too many out here, you know, and even the ones that are out here, they're not from Cali. You know, they might be from, you know, the coast, Buenaventura, those other type of regions. But come from Cali, I mean, they say that's the capital of salsa. You know, so many amazing salsa groups came from there. Grupo Nietzsche, Son de Cali, to many more that it's just like, it's a great culture to have in my DNA, and also being able to share it with my American side is also a blessing.
As far as you know, did Colombia create salsa for real?
As far as I know, I don't think they created salsa, but I think they definitely gave it a different platform. I think, you know, salsa was, you know, I don't know if this is factual or not, but when I think of salsa, the best salseros, you know, came from Puerto Rico. You know, that really took it mainstream. But Colombia overall is a salsa country. Like, overall, like from any region, you hear salsa. Puerto Rico, I mean, they've always been pioneers in the music industry, and, you know, from reggaeton to salsa to other rhythms, but nobody has ever like stamped them as like that's exactly all they listen to. You know what I mean? When it comes to Colombia, like, yeah, salsa, like that's just what it is. They got salsa clubs. I don't know about Puerto Rico, they got salsa clubs.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, bro, real talk. Is Colombia super dangerous?
I feel like it's like any other country. Is it dangerous, to answer the question? Of course. I mean, America's dangerous, you know? Tampa's dangerous.
Is it especially dangerous though? Let's be real. We in Tampa. If I go to Colombia for the first time, what do I got to look out for, bro?
I mean, I feel like you just got to be careful to understand where you're stepping foot into. You know, it's I'm not gonna say third world country, it's not, but it's a country that's going through difficulties. You know, the government is one of the biggest enemies to the people. So, you know, you got to understand you're stepping into a country that doesn't have as many tools that we have over here. So people are gonna do what they got to do to feed their families. And once you understand that, you just be precautious. Is it dangerous? It could be dangerous anywhere. Is there crime? Yeah, there's crime, but just be careful, you know?
Is it a place you got to tuck that chain in?
I've personally never seen any type of crazy stuff go on, but I do hear the stories a lot. So yes, I mean, I recommend people all the time when they go over there, like, yo, keep the chain tucked in. People see something shiny, they're gonna try to get some valuables out of you, whether it be your cell phone, your chain, your earrings, whatever it may be. There's that possibility. You just want to be safe, just for you and the people around you.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I I'm surprised. I'm from Puerto Rico. I'm from the island, and it's interesting because I wonder that for myself sometimes. Like, if I should I tuck the chain? I'm personally not a chain tucker in person, unless I'm just trying to be a little low key, like to not be showy, but not because I'm worried that somebody's gonna take it. Most of the time, like I've been in L.A., different parts of Crenshaw and Baldwin Hills and all that stuff with my Cuban link and all that. And in Puerto Rico, man, I was like in the trenches, and I thought like for sure I was about to tuck it in, but I was seeing like other dudes with their chains out even bigger than mine, and I was like, I guess it's all right. Yeah, it's just tricky though when you see that, you're like, that's a thing that happens. People really snatch chains.
I think it's one of those situations where until something bad happens to you, it won't really like register in your head. Because then you at that point you're like, well, it has never happened to me. Has it happened to nobody around me, like super close? It's all cool. When it happens to you, now you understand how it could happen to you or anybody. So, I mean, knock on wood, we never go through those situations, but it is one of those awakening situations where it's like, all right, it just happened to me. I'm gonna have to, step back, be more precautious about my surroundings and where I'm going.
hmm Man, I would say everybody like that I've been around, like not everybody, but most of the people I've been around that know about Colombia and talk about Colombia, like right away they're going to cartel, cocaine, that history. Does that bother you, bro?
No, I feel like you have to look at the dark side of things. It's like when people talk about like slavery in America,
Yeah.
like they try to like brush it off, like, oh yeah, it didn't happen. Like, no, it did happen, and those are subjects that should be talked about. It shouldn't be hidden, because it's something you can't hide.
Mm.
So it doesn't bother me. Is it part of the history? It's part of the history. Did it taint the image of Colombia for a while? Of course.
Mm.
But it doesn't stop the growth. It doesn't stop the future from coming. Slavery didn't stop America from becoming one of the top 15, 20 countries in the world.
That's
It still
good.
it still had to move forward.
That's real,
It's
bro.
yeah, it's just that some things need to be talked about, and kind of that stigma needs to be removed, like where it becomes like a shame. Like, unless it was you out there pulling the trigger or delivering the keys, you shouldn't be ashamed of it.
But it's a lot of people outside of your culture that embrace the negative parts of being from Colombia. Like I've seen like hip hop shops that have Pablo Escobar's face, his mug shot on the tees. Like, would you embrace that? How you feel about when you see that kind of stuff?
I mean, personally, since that was from another city in a different era, I mean, that was an era where I feel like, I mean, nowadays everybody glorifies anything gang related, drug related, so it doesn't shock me. Um, is it kind of cool that they're, I wouldn't say glorifying it, but showcasing that part of Colombian history? That's cool. You know what I mean? I wouldn't glorify the actions that we've took to get to that point, but I mean, I just I take it light. I don't take it too personal. I don't take it too no type of way. It's just part of Colombia. It's part of Medellin. It's part of the political culture during that time. And drugs is how they got it, and they did it.
You're from Colombia. Would you ever wear a Pablo Escobar shirt in Colombia?
No, no, no. I don't think I would. I don't think I would.
Why?
I feel like it's the subject is too divided. The subject is too divided, and here's what I mean by that. The subject is divided between the people who glorified Pablo
Yeah.
and the people who were affected by Pablo.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a very thin line, especially in a country that took a hit. You know, people in Medellin glorified him because he was helping his own people out in his city. But the acts that he did, killing people, blowing up planes, blowing up cars, you know, people don't feel too related to that. So it's a very sensitive subject in the country. So that's like, to be honest, that's like wearing a Fidel shirt in Cuba. You feel me? It's
Dang.
exactly like that.
It's like that.
Are you gonna go to Cuba and wear a Fidel shirt? Some people are gonna feel honored, and some people are gonna be like, "What are you doing?" You know. So it's one of those touchy subjects that I wouldn't want to cross that line.
That's good. That's crazy. So yeah, that's what pretty much this show is about. Like, how does power flow, good and bad, like the energy of the world, and also particularly what I focus on is I'm curious about Christian hip hop. I'm a Christian. I'm really proud of that. I stand on that. Behind the scenes, like because we work together at the radio station. I'm very like I stand on that. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like I there's a lot of things that are new to me within the Christian culture and Christian rap being something that I'm like trying to figure out. And mainly because I come from like the culture of rap. And what I mean by that specifically, like I was raised in a neighborhood where it was either rap music being played or like Motown, like R&B being played, like old school, or even like the newer R&B too. But that was like the soundtrack of my upbringing. So for me, if you can imagine what that neighborhood kind of looked like, you know what I mean, fill in the blank. And so I came from like the culture of hip hop. And I realized shooting on one of these episodes that I have an issue differentiating the genre of music and the culture, right? For real. Like it's hard for me to just be cool with just, hey bro, it's just a genre. It's all good. And everything's acceptable. But I'm like, I look at it still like y'all playing with our pain. You see what I'm saying? But with Christian rap, it's like another layer because from outside, well, I guess I'm inside, but before outside looking in, it's like you're trying to make music with a message, right? And the message is specific too. It's not just you're not just a positive rapper, you are a specific like faith rapper, right? And a lot of Christian rappers I see they try to take Jesus out of their raps or they try to go on platforms and say I'm not real. I'm a Christian who's a rapper, I'm not a Christian rapper. Um how do you feel about that?
Um, I mean, I respect Christian rappers overall. You know, trying to. I don't want to use the word limit, but I'm going to use it in this context. But limiting your music to a specific religion, it has to be hard. Um, like you said, especially with the messages. You know,
Mhm.
I have heard a lot of Christian music. They do take Jesus out. It may be because of they want to keep the music vague, so it's more relatable to more people. But then at that point, are you really a Christian rapper if you're taking Jesus out of the raps?
I don't know.
So that's the questionable part of it. Um,
And I'm asking you because you work in clubs a lot, right? You do promotions in clubs, and it's like, what if you heard a record that was just bumping, and it was almost like it was clean, but you didn't really pick up that it was clean, but it was just bumping, it was going hard, people were vibing to it, and then you found out like, oh, that's a Christian rapper, and you didn't even hear anything that really moved your soul. It didn't really push you towards faith. It just was like it was bumping. Do you feel like that would be that effective actually in that setting?
um, it would be effective if that's what they were trying to, reach. Try to get into the clubs and try to keep their image as a Christian rapper. But if you're not preaching the word or you're not preaching a message, I mean, we could talk about R&B songs or even other rap songs that portray a message, a positive message. Like let's bring out J. Cole. J. Cole doesn't have to say he's a Christian rapper, but he talks so much lyrical context that if he woke up tomorrow and said, "Yo, I'm gonna be a Christian rapper," he can actually deliver it
Mhm.
with the message, and you actually believe that he's doing that. That to me would be a Christian rapper. You're speaking a word and you're teaching people who are just listening, just like if you were a brand new artist coming out, you're bringing them into your world. But if you say you're a Christian rapper and the music and the context is not Christian, then I think that's just the title that you're giving yourself.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that helpful. I remember growing up that like I didn't know Kirk Franklin was a gospel rapper. I'm still real young when I was listening and hearing Kirk Franklin, but I used to hear that song Stomp. It was like JP, are you with me? Stomp. I did not know that was a gospel song. It was just a song that was going hard in the hood. But looking back, when you look at the lyrics and you listen to the lyrics, it was very explicitly talking about Jesus, very explicitly talking about faith, but it was still going hard. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting to me that some people take the route of let me water it down a little bit so that I can get played in the club. But then my thing is, okay, you're getting in the room, but what are you doing now that you're in the room? Right? Like, how is that affecting the people? I don't think it's affecting them that much.
Now, let me ask you this, especially because we're in a subject. So we touch bases on Christian rappers, bringing up Jesus' name. Let's talk about Kanye West and his song "Jesus Walks."
Yeah,
Would you consider that to be somewhat of a gospel song or something along the lines?
I think yeah. I think if you're the gospel is the good news. That's what it means. The good news of Jesus. And I don't know every lyric, but the fact that he kept saying Jesus walk, God show me the way because the devil trying to break me down, like that's aligned with the message of the good news. So yeah, like very explicitly actually. I mean, the song is literally titled Jesus Walks. He wasn't hiding from it at all. Was Kanye living a life at that time that you want to follow him to get closer to Jesus? Probably not. But did he pour his heart out on a record and was very explicit about Jesus? Yeah, that's dope. And DMX did the same thing. Lord, give me a sign. I really want to talk to you, Lord. And like, if you weren't following or something, I just felt like that was touching your soul regardless. It was powerful. You see what I'm saying? Where artists don't have to feel like, oh, I gotta keep them out because if not, they ain't gonna let me in the club. I mean, bro, you could play Lord Give Me a Sign in the club and people gonna listen to that.
Oh,
People
for
probably gonna
sure.
cry at the bar, but they gonna listen to it, right? It's gonna bump. Or
For
Jesus
sure.
Walks. I've heard it at the club.
Yeah, and those are hits that I would say the new generation of Christian rappers need to kind of like use as a template.
I agree.
Why? Because you can make a hit talking about Jesus. And then I understand you don't want to make every song talking about Jesus. You're not going to make an album fully talking about Jesus, but at least the messages need to be heartfelt.
Mm,
Like when you hear Jesus Walks, if you go to your car right now and play that while you're driving home, you're going to feel some type of presence
mm,
while you hear that music. The words are going to touch you. I think that's the magic of Christian rap or Christian music overall. The
mm-hmm,
words that you're hearing are doing something to you. They're healing you. They're making you think. They're making you forget.
mm.
They're making you forgive,
Dang.
you know?
Yeah.
And that's what the context is missing of these days Christian rappers or Christian music. I can't really tell you that I listen too much Christian music, but I really haven't seen an artist actually make it out into the industry, Billboard 100 in 2025 or the last 10, 15 years, actually bring it like forward. And I'm
Mm-hmm,
pretty sure there is a lot of like famous Christian rappers that got a lot of following, great YouTube numbers, great Spotify numbers, Apple
mm-hmm.
Music, everything. But somebody needs to come out and actually represent,
Yeah.
in that genre because I don't think it's being done. And I think it's some that's when people say there's stuff missing in the industry right now, it's small things like that. Because as we all know, everything that's shifting right now is girl music. Those are the new rappers these days. You got a new female rapper coming out and blowing up each month versus back in the day where it was a new guy, which is dope. I love the women empowerment, but we need different messages. Just like we got messages to go twerk in the club, we need messages to come heal, to forgive, to come together, to unify.
Mm,
And I think the representatives who are putting those titles on themselves are not doing the due diligence to actually get their name out there and represent for those people that need that. Somebody wants to go into their car right now and play some good music. I think in our generation, while we were growing up, the person that took that role was J. Cole. And this is probably the second time me mentioning him, but the person who took that lyrical role to get people to actually think about, their emotions, storylines, losing, winning, their younger years was J. Cole.
mm,
And there's a lot of lyricists that are Christian rappers, but they just haven't stepped into the limelight.
Yeah. Are you familiar with a name like Lecrae?
Not really. Yeah, I couldn't really tell you too many Christian rappers. Um, I mean, when I was growing up, I mean, I seen that churches, around Tampa, Wesley Chapel, like they had, people rap for them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And this was MySpace times, and I enjoyed it. People were making great music, rapping, but I don't know if there's a glass ceiling that they don't let that music break out. But I have not seen those type of hits actually make it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And once again, the glass ceiling comment, I don't even think is real because there is a lot of like hidden message music that talks about Jesus or religious music that are hits that we might even not even think about it until you really read the lyrics and kind of get the message out of them. So
I like your perspective on Christian rap. I would I would consider it quite bold actually. I think that you have a pretty strong stance on it. Like I think you expect similar to what I expect. Like whatever you are representing, represent it. And by the way, I did just want to mention, I think you know two really, really big Christian rappers, Faruko and Daddy Yankee.
for sure. And seeing Daddy Yankee make that transition because I think he just dropped a song not too long ago.
Yeah, it's playing. It was playing on the radio yesterday.
Making that transition, it makes me wonder what circumstances took him to those levels. It's not many people who've been in the industry who've taken that role to make that type of change. And for a pioneer like Daddy Yankee in the Spanish community, and I think to be honest, not even just the Spanish community, worldwide,
Yeah.
to make a transition like that, it makes me wonder what really, came through his head that really made him make that change. Was it a love situation? Was it a friendship situation? Was it losing somebody?
I know one of the things that he said on a platform. This was after Despacito. So Despacito is like massive worldwide record. It's got the most views on YouTube of any song, of any music video of all time. And believe it or not, bro, he's always got a pretty squeaky clean image. But believe it or not, he let us behind the scenes of it, and he told the people like he was actually feeling suicidal. He was in a hotel. He was like secluded because you know, he's so famous, like he can't really go anywhere, really. Like if you think about it, he can't go anywhere and not be on the clock. You dig? So he was in a hotel room, dog, and he was like, just he's got everything. He's at the top of the world, but he couldn't believe that he actually felt like taking his life. And he realized like none of that mattered. Like the money didn't matter, the influence didn't matter, the level of following he had, none of that really mattered because he still was like, there's something missing. And I'm willing to just, yeah. So I know he shared that, and I was really surprised to hear that from him because, like I said, his image is real squeaky clean. He's somebody that a lot of people look up to. Whether you're Christian, not Christian, like the guy's career is pretty unmatched, to be honest with you. For him to say that, dog, like I was like, wow. And, you know, I think that I'm glad that he turned to faith because he could have been another Kurt Cobain. He could have been another Robin Williams or Chester from Linkin Park. That would have hurt heavy the whole community because we all looking at him like a leader. And to know that he was going through that, but he chose Jesus, like, and Jesus got him through it. Yeah, that's super powerful, bro. And he turned away crazy money after that.
I did see that clip when he talked about the millions he turned away, to really focus on himself. Um, those are really like the forks in the path where you got to make a decision for yourself, um, and nobody can make that decision but you. And you can't walk towards Jesus until you are ready and fully committed. And I love when we touch these subjects because I feel like we don't speak about that too much, in the hip hop culture. I mean, I know I know, yeah, like the older generation of, Hispanics, it's embedded in us, the new DNA. But I feel like the new kids these days, they didn't get that religious wave that we were brought up to. We were taught to pray when we go to sleep. We were taught to pray before we eat. Prayer and Jesus and religion was part of who we were and our family members. Nowadays, those customs have been erased. And, it kind of worries me for, the children that are going to come in the future, my children, you know, um, religion kind of kept things alive. It gave you that light at the end of the tunnel, that hope that people kind of needed. Especially, if you think about it, religion is all people have in these poor countries. Central America, South America, or the islands. Religion is what really kept people going. What do they have now?
Me personally, I'm not a fan of religion at all. There's a big difference that a lot of people don't realize. It's subtle, but it's real. There's a difference between religion and faith. Um, for example, like atheist people have a lot of faith because to be atheist, you have to believe in one crazy miracle. The Big Bang happened and all of intelligent life and feelings and emotions and love all just came randomly created like from one huge event that happened. You got to have a lot of faith, to believe that. A lot. Uh I joke around. I say I don't got enough faith to be atheist. That's just a lot, bro. For me to see all this creation and think there was no creator, that to me takes a lot of faith. Um, but faith is different than religion. So religion is essentially I'm doing these things so I can get the reward. I can go to heaven or I can get closer to God. I'm doing these things to get closer to God or to whatever to better myself. Faith is like, especially faith in Jesus is like there's nothing that I can do that will actually help me get there. There's nothing I can do. God did everything. God does everything. And I believe and I put my trust and my faith in that. That God does everything and he's already qualified to handle every problem that I'm ever going to come against. Because if God created me, he created me for a purpose. So if he created me for a purpose and he's powerful, I know he didn't create just basura. I know he didn't just create junk. And so if I believe in God and I believe he created me, which I'm here so I can verify that, then he created me with a purpose. And that's where you have faith. Like that has nothing to do with a religion actually at that point. What I ended up doing without realizing with trying to figure out where God was within logic and truth, I actually started eliminating the faith portion. I actually didn't have any value for faith. I thought that was so annoying. I was starting to get really annoyed with that. Like if you have to believe it, then it's not true. That's how I started believing. Like that's what I started thinking. If you have to believe something, then it's not really true because it's like you're putting effort to believe in something that's not true. So, bro, all that to say, like when I was going through some of the darkest times, and I feel like I'm reaching this level of like spiritual enlightenment. When I was going through some of the hardest times, I didn't have nobody to pray to. I believed in like everything and nothing at the same time. I'm mixing belief systems, and I'm thinking I'm getting closer to the truth, but I was actually so far away, like I couldn't even realize. It's crazy. It's like I was like running a direction heavy on steroids, like running, making good points, breaking people's faith down and whatever. And then like hit a wall, didn't know what to do with that. It was bad, bro. And it was like, I gotta stop playing. And for me, my change was I realized I needed faith. Like I need faith because if you live life without any faith and a faith in a power, where is your hope? You're helpless. You're hopeless, dude. And I got to that point.
I was just empty at that point.
Yeah, I was questioning being here and everything. Like, what's the point? And I mean, I'm filling my brain up with all this knowledge, but it wasn't helping me. Cause, bro, at the end of the day, right? Mayans, great civilization, the pyramids, but it's in ruins now. How did I reconcile that? I couldn't. I'm like, yo, it's so powerful. Like, look at this empire, and people are like, yeah, that's cool, bro. but yeah, look at the math. It's the same as the pyramid, the dimensions, and like, oh my gosh. But then Egypt's in ruins too, and I'm like, how do I reconcile that? It's in ruins. I started looking up to everything that was just dying, bro. If I'm being honest, and then I was putting more hope into creation instead of the creator.
Yeah, and I've been a fan of the Egyptian. I mean, my name's Pharaoh, of course, but I've been a fan of the Egyptian culture, the Mayans, Atlantis. You know what I mean? The Bermuda Triangle, aliens, all this crazy stuff. Um, and those are things that really, really, really debate or conflict with faith. Only because they did things totally different, and we have no way of even getting information in reality what happened those days. What did they really believe in? You know, uh, do the stories match?
To me, it started smelling like a lot of cap because I'm trying to make a piece it together a certain way. You're trying to piece it together a certain way. None of us have the real story, but yet we're putting our faith in that, and it didn't make sense, bro. It just didn't. And I started realizing like Jesus is like very solid, very clear. Like everybody deals with Jesus. That's the difference. Like Muslims deal with Jesus. They have him in the Quran, and he's a prophet. So I was like, really? And then Buddhism deals with Jesus and classifies him as a Buddha. Was one of the things that messed with me a lot was like my friends that were into witchcraft, because I started opening myself up to everything, Santeria, voodoo, witchcraft, all that. My friends that were witches were like, oh, we believe Jesus too. I was like, really? Yeah, he was a warlock. Yeah, he learned magic in Egypt. I'm like, so y'all all believe in Jesus some to an extent, bro. That was freaking me out. And at that time when I wasn't trying to hear that, it would annoy me. I'm like, bro, I can't get around this guy. Like God, everybody's cool with God. God is like, oh, we dapping up, we cool. You got God, I got God, we good. It's like that don't move really nobody, because God could be a tree to you, and God to me could be like my own self. God doesn't offend nobody. It's like, what do you do about Jesus? That's where it's like he is not so all these different directions. He's like one direction. And I think that's how the truth works. I think that lies work the other way. Lies work, and I'm gonna keep adding rabbit holes and rabbit holes, because it's like, do you put your faith in the Mayans or the Egyptians? Do you put your faith in the Aztecs or the Tainos? Do you put your faith in your ancestors or yourself or the trees or the babalaos or the? That's how lies work. Lies keep confusing you, but the truth is like, I'm gonna stay solid so that you can see the clear path of where you're actually supposed to go. And that's what Jesus claimed he was. Jesus says, I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life. Nobody comes to the Father except through me. And then he just showed that he was reliable, because everything he said would happen, happened. And then even down to like dying and resurrecting, cool, that can sound like super cap. However, 400 eyewitness testimonies go on record and saying this, like, what? And then the Romans confirming that this story was legitimately like continued. Even Rome, that was pagan, they switched their religion to believing in Jesus because it took over. Like all the people that follow him were willing to die about it. There's just so much evidence to like, bro, that really happened, bro. You know what I mean? Like, and then all these other religions include him in their religion. Like, what? There's something about him, not just God. So how you feel about Jesus, bro?
Um, I feel like that's like you said. I mean, hands down, worldwide, was Jesus real? Yes, he was. The conflict between everybody is just what role he played.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
that's the big conflict that you can sit, in a round table, the world's most like intelligent, religious leaders, and they're all gonna debate on what role Jesus played. Um, in my opinion, I mean, I've heard different versions, like you said, that he learned, his some magic from the Egyptians, He went to this place and this place and this place and this place and learned, whatever. Um, we got a general understanding that he was the son of Mary, you know, Virgin Mary. Here he came in, all this stuff. But I don't know. I feel like we've gone to the point where when you try to dig too deep into try to understand something like that, you rattle yourself into more confusion. And that's why I kind of said a little bit earlier, I don't like to put no title into what I believe because all I know is that, I believe in Jesus. Um, I believe in God. I believe in the Word, the Bible. Um, we've had numerous debates, about, the Bible, things that it says here, it says there. But I mean, trying to break down, words that, were said thousands of years ago, we're always gonna have a good conversation about it because we're all gonna take it in a different perspective. We're all different worlds and understand things in a different way. But I just believe that Jesus was real.
Yeah.
Jesus is real. And until you get to walk through a dark time, I don't think you could say that, you know? And those are the moments that really awaken you to believe that he's real. Um, and that's probably much what happened to the Romans, until a big impact happened. That's when they believed that, Christianity was real. And that's when they, made that change. Now, if we were to get deeper into the conversation, the religious wars, that's a whole different, bigger picture that, you know, uh,
That part was hard for me to get over.
yeah, and that's kind of like it's very tough for me to understand.
How do we get past Christianity and slavery? How do we get past Christianity and the Crusades and establishing all these kingdoms in the name of Jesus and killing thousands and thousands and thousands of people? How do we reconcile the KKK being a Christian organization, right? Do you want to talk, because I've done this research, but do you agree that that's kind of the main frame of like the conflict sometimes?
Yeah, and I think that's what's kind of like dirty the name of Christianity, you know? Um, Different groups using the light of the message and making it into something dark and to their own benefit.
Yeah.
To be honest, that would kind of seem to me like having a genie in a bottle and making just straight negative wishes. You have such a great tool in your hand that you can make so much positive change with, but because of your own selfishness, you're not doing nothing great with it.
Exactly. And I think that it's very easy. Like, we're so wired, bro, to like be selfish. We're very wired to make it about me. Look at me. Look at how I am. Look how cool I am. Look how fresh I am. And then imagine like you and I both have kingdoms and nobody could tell us nothing in our kingdom. Like, if I want somebody dead, try it if you want to stop me. You know what I'm saying? I was reading about King Herod the other day, like a history book. King Herod is actually a biblical king too, but the historical accounts of his life was crazy, bro. He had his wife Miriam killed because he suspected she was going to kill him. So he kills her. Then he feels terrible about it and is like always basically haunted by her. And he's always like screaming her name out and just weird stuff happen. Then he fast forward, ends up killing his two sons that were from her too. Like, bro, when you're a king, it's like you could do whatever. So imagine like having that under your belt, and now you have this religion, this faith that other people really put their faith in, and or just a way that you can like use that as a king. You're not all the way balanced. You got some messed up things, the way you think and the way you handle stuff, even down to killing your own kids. But you know that this is powerful, right? Power, power is power, regardless of who uses it. Truth is truth, regardless of who uses it. You see what I'm saying? Gravity is gravity, regardless. Like, we all are affected by gravity, whether you're a good person doing something or a bad person doing something. See? So people can take the truth and even something good, and pimp it out and do something terrible with it, which is what I realized was done with Christianity over and over and over. Because when you actually go to read what it says, when you read what Jesus actually says, and you read his life, bro, I promise you, it's gonna happen like what happened to me. Like, bro, how come I don't see this? Like, I've seen the opposite of what he's saying to do. Like, the fact that he used to like rebuke the religious people, but then he's supposed to have been creating a religion. What? See, no, people created a religion out of him.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say, okay, now we established Christianity. That's not what he said. He was building a family of people who were willing to die to themselves for others. You know, like serve others so much to your last drop. Just love people to your last drop. And then when you've done all that and you die, I'm going to take you with me. That's what he's saying. And the beginning, like the first people that ever followed him, they didn't even have a title. People just started giving them titles. Where the only thing they would say is, "We follow the way." That's all they used to say. We follow the way. We're followers of the way, which was Jesus. The other people started giving them a Christian title because it was like little Christ. It was disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? It's like the N word. They were calling them like little Christian or little Christ to disrespect them. So then they started embracing that. But it was a faith and it was a lifestyle. And then it turned into like, when Rome got involved, Rome, all they knew was religions. That's what that's their bread and butter. Like building an empire off of like the gods and building temples for the gods and all this stuff. Like that's what their culture already was. So when they embraced Jesus and Christianity, they just made another religion. Was it right? I don't think so. But it's what happened, right? And then it just opened the door for everything else to just, which is why I'm like, is Christian rap legit? Because if you get too close to playing with both worlds, you're just doing the same deception.
Yeah, and I think you brought up a lot of great points. You are bringing that same deception because you're using something that's clean and pure, and you're masking it with another identity that you created on your own. And that's where miscommunication starts.
Yeah. Oof.
And then now it snowballs to something bigger, you know? But not just overall, man, just religion and, just seeing how it affects the everyday human is powerful on a good note. It's powerful to see somebody walk to God and really give themselves, completely and really make that change. But I think, to be honest, when it comes to religion, if you really feel like you're giving yourself to God, it ain't by just you doing it for yourself. Because then we're going to the same thing again.
Yeah.
You got to do it for the people around you.
Yeah.
Spread the message. Move and follow the way. And show people that there is a way.
Mm-hmm.
And a way without titles. Because like we said, he never gave any titles. He didn't give himself no titles. So that's why, touching bases again, I don't believe in Christianity or Catholic or none of that. I don't believe in none of that. I believe there's a way. I believe there's a way to do things. Are we perfect? We're not perfect at all.
Nah.
But believing in that moral compass of him is as perfect as it could start to be.
Yeah.
Now you slowly start making those different changes to evolve yourself into how perfect you want to be. But yeah, man, it's just
the Holy Spirit is really moved in your life, bro. Like I think that I get the sense your prayers are very sincere when you do pray.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of. I've came from nothing. I came from nothing. I've seen lows. I've seen highs. And I feel like it's made me just humble. It's made me a very understanding person. Uh, if somebody was to hurt me, like Jesus said, you slap me in one cheek, slap me in the next. If somebody was to hurt me, as a human, it would hurt me. But I understand that people go through pain and hurt people. So I don't know. My overall goal is to just become a vessel of. I don't want to say of the word. I'm not gonna like wake up tomorrow and say I'm gonna become a preacher. But I do like to at least drop some sense of faith into the people around me.
I know you do. I've seen it.
Hmm.
You know.
And sometimes it doesn't have to be with exactly the words Jesus or religion. Sometimes even a good message, a good statement, a good quote can go a long way for somebody.
Mm.
You know, um,
Well, I got a question. Why not just go straight Jesus? Like if and I'm not just trying to be like overly spiritual, but like if you thought you had the real remedy of like, you know, something that could actually defeat death and you know somebody's dying, would you give them like Tylenol or would you be like, "Yo, I got the real thing that you need." You know what I'm saying?
no, that makes sense. I mean, obviously, the pact you got to make with Jesus once you're ready is one of those strong pacts that it's either all or none.
That's true.
So you have to be in a complete different state of mind and in a whole different aura to actually make that step. I've always taken, what I'm saying, those type of pacts very serious because just like you pray for things, and we're not talking about things like money or, success or nothing like that. Um, but when you're praying for things and you really decide to really walk Jesus' path, you got to be just in a whole different momentum. And to answer your question, I mean, I just feel like right now I'm not fully blown ready to really 100% walk that path. Um,
That's real.
it's part of me. He's in me, and but to like fully be blown, church and all the extra stuff, um, it does ring in my mind though, in the
Yeah,
back of my head.
I can tell.
It does ring in my mind. Like sometimes, like on a Sunday, I'll be like, man, I wish I was going like to church because that feeling when you leave church, it's unmatchable.
Yeah.
It's so euphoric. It's so euphoric to your aura, your brain, your body. It's just it glows different.
Yeah.
You walk in there with some weight on your shoulders, and when you walk out, you just feel like you just got a mental massage,
Yeah.
and you feel like things will be okay.
And that's really the trade off, bro. Listen, the trade off that maybe you're being apprehensive about, the trade off is that you get to feel that every day instead of just Sunday. The apprehension is like, well, but then I got to do none. It's not that. It's like, I already did everything that you got to do. All you have to do is like sincerely have faith and be willing to let me change your heart all the way. Like, you wouldn't need whatever you think you would need now. Some people were like, "Oh, I can't do it because of the career I'm in, or I can't do it because of my past, or I can't do it because my discipline sucks." It's not about that. It's about, is he where you really truly rely on in your faith, and have you just decided and told him like, I want to live for you. I don't know how that's going to be. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get there, but I'm going to trust that you're going to get me there. And that's all that it's supposed to be. Like he said, the Bible says his strength is made perfect in our weakness. And I've experienced it so many times. Am I perfect? No, bro. But do I walk like excited for the light and righteousness every single day? Do I look forward to like freeing people? That's what I look forward to. So what did I lose? Nothing. I only actually gained way more than I even deserve, bro. That's the life I live right now. And I'm telling you because I've been in some of the darkest things that you can imagine. And in those times, now, like I lost my brother not too long ago. And he died and left 3 girls. My nieces, they're orphans now. I had to speak at his funeral because we didn't have a pastor, and they were like, I want you to do it. And I'm like, it's a lot of strength. Jesus got me through that. So what are we apprehensive about when there's so much power that he's willing to give you? There's so much resources that he's willing to give you. Like, you don't have to worry about anything. And I think that the enemy would love for you to just stay like in that limbo and keeping things in the dark or not fully surrendering because he's got you. And so, yeah, it's decision time. Every day is decision time. But I think that I encourage you to continue to keep your prayers authentic, to keep your heart as pure as you have been trying. But at the same time, like open it fully to Jesus to let him transform you all the way from the inside out and not worry too much about what anybody's gonna say about that or even what your old tendencies have to say about that. Because he's actually gonna give you a brand new urge, brand new desires, brand new cravings. Everything's gonna be different. He's gonna renovate you fully from the foundation, not just replace the roof. You see, people think, oh, if I replace the window, I'm good. I replace this, I'm good. I go to church a couple more times, I'm good. I'm in my regiment. It's not about that. A whole new foundation shift. Because why? Your family's gonna rely on you, bro, to be somebody that shifts their souls towards the direction of life forever. It's what you really care about, but you got to live that. It's not enough to believe. The Bible says that even the demons believe and they shudder. It's to follow. It's like you said, I respect that pact. It's more than a pact. It's not even really God, okay, I'm going to do this. It's more like I give up. I surrender. I'm done fighting you. I don't got this figured out and I need you. And I'm going to trust that. And I'm going to seek you with whatever I can. If it's a book about you, if it's a place that's calling a church and whatever it is, I'm just gonna focus on your name, hyper focus on your name, and I'm gonna follow that. And I'm gonna try to learn about that as much as I can. And when I figure that out with you, with your strength, then I just wanna like share that love with people. And that's where I'm at. It's like I'm in love because I've been loved. I realize that God made you and me a one of one each. God's like the dopest collector of all time. You know, the collections, like sneaker collections, like it's cool, but a one of one is a different situation. If you got a whole collection of one of ones, that's money right there. And that's how God is. He's a collector of one of ones. He made you one of one. Nobody in all of time has existed to be you. That's how much he cared about you and loved you. That's not, you can't fake that. Same with me, same with the people you love, and even with your enemies. One of ones. So God is like, I want to collect you, bro. And I want you to be a collective. I want you to be a family. But it's not on you. It's not on me. It's everything he already did. Man, it could change. Your whole life could change even today. I think you're ready, bro.
Yeah, it's definitely been bringing. It's been bringing. It's that low whisper. You know, I feel like that's he does those subliminals.
Yeah, because you're chosen to lead at a bigger level. And you know that. It's even been spoken to you before. Yeah.
Yeah, I think nothing in this world can be done without him. I've seen how big he is. You know, I've seen how big he's as a protector, uh, as a father figure. You know, it
That's
sometimes
it.
and sometimes people think, you know, like they expect everything from God has to be this good, magical, you know, unicorn lifestyle. It's not like that. Like God is the person that's gonna be the one to teach you with situations.
Yeah.
He's gonna put you on the spot.
Yeah.
He's gonna make sure you perform.
Yeah.
You know, um,
And he's brought you through so much darkness so that you're not necessarily scared of the darkness. Because when you go to get those souls and save those people with his power, You'll be able to go in those rooms and know exactly what they're missing that they actually need. You're going to be able to speak to them like no one else was ever made to speak to them. You're assigned to them. That's the way that God has orchestrated your life to work out.
I like that.
It's beautiful. And it's in Spanish and English, bro. You got so much power that God has given you, but he respects our decisions. So it's your decision. The only thing that you really can decide is to take that step forward, that leap of faith all the way. You're like, yeah, I don't want these things. I've been trying and these things don't satisfy. I don't want them. I want you. Like I want the most pure, powerful love that I could ever experience. Yo, and like it's there for you, bro. It's literally it's on the table. Like we could pray together, bro, and your whole life could change. I know that for a fact.
There's power in prayer, and there's more power when it's like-minded people doing it.
Yeah.
The aura is just different. And when it's a community, doing it, and that's why the church is so powerful. Um, there's a lot of stigmas and the churches nowadays, you know, um, that now they're all money grabs and stuff like that. And to be honest, me and
Some
my
some are.
yeah, some are, and in my opinion, some definitely are. Um, but I feel like even in those money grab churches, he's not there on the negative side of it, but the fact that they're speaking the word kind of goes back to what we talked about, the religious wars. They took the light and made it into darkness,
Exactly.
you know. But yeah, God overall, man, he's a great teacher. I feel like that's the word that we can really put on him. He's a great teacher. He's a great friend. He's the only person that's gonna walk with you in dark times. In good times, he's there as well. Um, and he's something that everybody. I mean, I can't even say everybody because everybody, is gonna think different. But everybody should have some type of presence of him in their life, whether you're atheist, whether you're Buddhist, whether whatever religion you are, in some way, somehow you believe in Jesus. It could be a different name, it could be a different form, it could be a different shape, it could be a different idea. But Jesus, if you believe in something, is in you.
Hmm. I would just disagree with that part just because the Jesus is a particular specific person, and I think if we put them all in one category, then it will confuse people still because like they're if we believe like in Jesus at the same time we believe in Muhammad, then we believe in contradictions. Like they won't coincide. They actually won't get you to the same location, right? If it's a leadership thing, right? It's not gonna get you to the same direction. So I just for accountability's sake for audience, and I understand that's how you feel, but
Yeah.
I just gotta make that clear. Like Jesus is Jesus, and it's like every other religion has sampled Jesus, and that's where it can get confusing because we're like, well, Jesus is like a concept, right? Or he's like a Christ, what they call it, Christ consciousness. Nah, that's never what he claimed. Like, let's read what he actually said. Let's read the documents, not just go off of how our feelings are, because that also you could feel one thing right now, feel the next something else the next 2 minutes. Somebody could come in here, ratchet, and we feel completely different. But man, I love you, brother. I think this is a powerful conversation. I really encourage you, bro, to take that step. Like I said, we could take that step even today, but you do have to be ready. Like when it's always a decision you make, and God's gonna actually fulfill the other part, the parts that you can't fulfill, the parts that you're maybe worried about. Like, "Oh, I don't know, man. How am I gonna explain this to so and so?" And what he's gonna handle all of that. But it's a decision, bro. You
Thank
know.
you, man, and I appreciate the invitation to touch all these amazing subjects that I feel like they're not being touched enough, and that's why this platform is very powerful. Um, your upbringing conversations that they're not doing out there, um, or they're undermining because they don't feel like they're important to bring up.
Yeah.
You know, nowadays in all the type of interviews that you see, you would never hear them talk about, you know, religion or spiritualness or even conscious. And I'm glad this platform exists to bring it to light and to have people come in here and really get in touch with themselves and their inner power. Because that's what religion is as well. It's like you said, it starts from me, and then the light will shine.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you, brother.
Thank you, bro.
I really appreciate you.
Man, it's all love, bro. Appreciate you. Let the people know where they can find you, big dog.
Man, listen, you can find me at YNG Pharoh. That's gonna be on Instagram, probably Facebook as well. Twitter, or now the new X, is probably YNG Pharoh as well. Make sure to lock in with me. Listen, make sure to hit a follow, subscribe, comment, share, repost, clip it, whatever you got to do. And keep nothing but positive vibes and good energy, and share it with everybody around you.
Let's keep up. Peace. Like, share, subscribe, and go ahead and tune in next time for more Powerflow Convos.